why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
Fuck you.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Fuck you.
Show me where it says that protests are
Fuck you,
supposed to
Frito.
be polite and peaceful.
So I'd take you behind the gym and beat the hell
Fuck
out
you,
of you.
asshole.
Punch some people
Fuck
in
you.
the face.
And if you see anybody
Dumb
in
bitch.
that cabinet, in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd.
Kelly Conway, she said, and I'm paraphrasing today, that they're looking for more violence and more disruption because it helps them politically. He views this as a political benefit to him. You know, he's rooting for more violence, not less, and it's clear about that. And what's he doing? He just kept pouring gasoline on the fire.
Let me ask you, you just said that you believe that the president is rooting for the violence. You think the president of the United States is rooting for the violence because he thinks it helps him politically?
I think he views it as a political benefit. I had a quote here from Kellyanne Conway. She said, the more chaos and anarchy and vandalism and violence reigns, it's better for us. It's a very clear choice it presents for us. This is, I mean, look, this is the same guy when people came out of Charlottesville and a young woman gets killed and they're spewing hate and their veins bulging and carrying swastikas and white supremacists. And he get asked, what about what just happened? He said, they're very fine people on both sides. He just keeps pouring fuel on the fire. He's encouraging this. He's not diminishing it at all. This is his America now. And you want to end where we are now, we've got to end his tenure as president.
The incumbent capable of telling us the truth. He wants to generate heat, and he's stoking violence in our cities. Violence of extremists and opportunists, right-wing militias, white supremacists, vigilantes, who infiltrate protests, carrying weapons of war, hoping to wreak havoc and to derail any hope and support for progress. The senseless violence of looting and burning and destruction of property. Fires are burning and we have a president who fans the flames rather than fighting the flames. This president long ago forfeited any moral leadership in this country. He can't stop the violence because for years he's fomented it. His failure to call on his own supporters to stop acting as an armed militia in this country shows how weak he is.
That the president, the acquiescence, if not more than that, that it gives to vigilantes coming in to make matters worse in these situations is something that the president should be quelling rather than encouraging. We all respect peaceful demonstrations. We don't want them to be exploited by outside groups, be they vigilantes and the rest, to stir it on.
Do you seriously wonder, Mr. President, why this is the first time in decades that America has seen this level of violence? It's you who have created the hate and the division, and it's you who claimed that white supremacists are good people. You've tried to divide us more than any other figure in modern history, and now you want me to stop the violence that you helped create.
Clearly stokes racial violence, who stokes racism. The president, in my opinion, encourages that. He only means to agitate things, and he's going to do everything to disrupt law and order.
Wouldn't it be nice for the President of the United States to take to the microphone and send a message for peace and calm, talking to those who are on his side, his supporters, who have come in and taken the lives of people trying to send a calming and peaceful message.
Listen to the words of Kellyanne Conway. She said this last week. The more chaos and anarchy and vandalism and violence reigns, the better it is, those are her words, for the very clear choice on who's best on public safety and law and order.
All right, Senator.
This is a strategy to wreak havoc.
He's been doing that. He's been leading. It's exactly the opposite of what we've been seeing from Trump, who's been trying to incite violence this entire summer.
Just wait a second. The president is inciting violence?
Absolutely. He has. He has encouraged his supporters to go out, to be aggressive, You were just discussing with Laura Trump. Kellyanne Conway said it unapologetically. It is better for this president if there is more anarchy, more violence, more chaos. He has at every opportunity tried to fan the flames here, and that is the reason we are living in Donald Trump's America.
The president is willfully fanning the flames of this violence. As his own advisor, Kellyanne Conway, said last week, they believe the violence is helpful to them. And the president is only motivated by one thing: what's in it for him? And he sees this violence and his ability to agitate more of it as useful to his campaign. What it does to the country, the loss of life, he doesn't care. 180,000 people have died from the pandemic because of his incompetence and this malignant narcissism. And he simply not only won't act to stop the violence in the streets, but he will try to send federal National Guard forces or others to aggravate it if he can. He will stoke it through his social media where he can because he believes the violence helps him. That is the sad and tragic truth about this, but also about the Trump presidency more generally.